As part of UK Parliament Week, I'm publishing a few videos explaining different aspects of Parliament and politics. Today I want to explain a little bit about the differences between Parliament and government, because they are very different things and they have different roles and responsibilities. The government is made up of members of the party who win the most seats at the general election, but it doesn't include all the members of that party. The leader of the winning party is then appointed as Prime Minister and chooses some of the other members of their party to work in the government with them as the most senior department heads, if you like. They're the cabinet, and each cabinet minister has a team of junior ministers who each have a responsibility for a certain part of their department. The government is responsible for deciding how the country is run and for managing things on a day-to-day basis. They set taxes, they choose what to spend money on, and decide how best to deliver public services. Services like the National Health Service, the police and armed forces, welfare benefits like universal credit, and the UK's energy supply. Different governments have very different approaches to how best to deliver public services, and it's largely dependent on where on the political spectrum the majority party sits as to how that happens. But unprecedented external factors can also determine how the government approaches to deal with things, with COVID being the prime example. While many government powers have been delegated to devolved institutions in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, only the UK government can speak on behalf of the United Kingdom and represent us abroad. So, by comparison, Parliament's job is to look closely at the government's plans and to monitor the way that they're running things. Parliament works on everyone's behalf to try to make sure that government decisions are open and transparent, that they are workable, that they're efficient, and that they're fair and non-discriminatory. Government ministers are required to come to address Parliament regularly, to answer questions, respond to issues raised in debates, and keep both houses of Parliament, the Commons and the Lords, informed of any important decisions that they take. In that way, Parliament can hold government account for its actions and scrutinise their decisions. But as part of the devolution settlement, the devolved administrations of Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland all have their own elected governments and parliaments, operating in largely the same way as the central UK government does. Some areas that the Welsh government are responsible for handling include agriculture, education, health and housing in Wales. Now, devolution is an important part of democracy, as is the split between the executive, or the government, and the legislative, or the parliamentary branches of governments across the United Kingdom. So it's a little bit about how the interaction works between government and Parliament. Lots of people think that because the Conservative Party are currently the party of government, that everybody in every Conservative MP is in the government, which isn't the case. There's a huge number of what you would call backbench MPs who aren't part of the government but are still part of the Conservative Party. So yeah, the role of government to make the decisions on how things run, and then the role of Parliament to scrutinise and debate and hold the government to account to make sure that they're doing things in the most appropriate ways. So it's a little bit of the extra background as to how things work, and I shall be back with more videos later on in the week for UK Parliament Week. Have a great evening.